These problems are about reducing fractions. And the idea here is that a lot of fractions can be written in different ways. You could have, let's say, 1/4, but you could also have 25/100ths. Those are actually the same number. And if you think about it, you know that 25 cents is a quarter of a dollar. So 25 out of 100 is a quarter, or 1/4. It's the same thing. The way we would reduce something like this one, the 25/100ths, is we would think about it this way. Well, one way you could think about it is that 100 is 4 times 25, and 25 is 1 times 25, and if I've got two 25s there, I can cancel them out. There are other ways you can do this too. One is to say, let's divide the top and the bottom by some number that's the same. If I were going to start that way with 25 over 100, the number that jumps out is 5, because I know they're both divisible by 5. If I divide 25 by 5, I would get 5. If I divide 100 by 5, I would get 20. And then, let's see, if I divide the top and the bottom by 5 again, I would get 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. So it's a process of figuring out what you can divide both the top and the bottom by. Let's try this with the first problem, 10 over 20. I could divide both of those by 10. And if I do that, 10 divided by 10 equals 1, 20 divided by 10 equals 2, and I get 1/2, which is as far as I can go. I can't get any smaller than 1/2. Another way to think about that one is that 10 is 1 times 10, and 20 is 2 times 10, and we just canceled the 10s. Let's try a slightly harder one. 18 over 24, 18/24. One way to do this in dividing the top and the bottom by the same number, when you see even numbers on both, you know you can divide by 2. And you might want to start there and see where it takes you. So let's try that. 18 divided by 2 would be 9, and 24 divided by 2 would be 12. And then I would ask myself, what could both of these be divided by now? And I think, 3. So I'll divide both by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And I get 3/4. Let's try one more. This one is 11/22, which looks a little tricky until I realize that, 22 is 2 times 11. So if I divide the top and the bottom by the same thing by 11, I get 11 divided by 11, which is 1, and 22 divided by 11, which is 2, and it's 1/2. All right, the last one here is a word problem. It says there were 10 boys and 15 girls in the class. What was the ratio of boys to girls in the class? So if the ratio is boys to girls, I would put boys over girls, and we have 10 boys and 15 girls. But I wouldn't stop there, because this is not in its simplest form. I can reduce this fraction. I notice that both the top and the bottom are divisible by 5, so I'll try that. 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 15 divided by 5 is 3, and I get 2/3. I don't think there's anything else, any common factor in these now. So 2/3 is as simple as it can get, and that's my ratio. The ratio of boys to girls is 2 to 3. So that's a little bit about reducing fractions.